and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a design from scratch even without using the layout grid. By now, even the layout grid should have given you a perspective like, okay, if you want to sketch out your layout manually, you know how it should be. You can sketch out a layout and then decide that, okay, this is the way I'm going to work my design. You get that? Okay, so now I saw a design online and I feel okay, we can actually replicate this in class. I'd never done that exact design here on Canva, and I do that on my like majorly on most of my trainings. I just pick a random design and then I tell people, okay, let's do this because I for one know that it's achievable. Like either it is designed from a software, another software, I know it's achievable on Canva. So that's why we're going to be looking at this design. So I'm going to put the design we're looking at into the canvas too. Let me call it into the design frame instead of saying into the. All right, so now we have this very plain stuff. So what I'm going to do is bring in that image I want us to do and upload it here. Okay, let's look at images alone. Okay, here it is. So I want us to design the first image there. So I'm going to create another page where we're going to actually make the design. So this is it. Let me just crop this because yeah, what we need is actually just here. And I'm going to expand it so that we can all see it well. I could even still crop this because I don't need those other ones. Okay. And then I'm putting it here just so that you can see it. The quality is reduced because of this extension and all of that. Okay, so here is a design with the like major element. There is a texture, there is an image, there is a text, there is a tilting. And do you feel this is achievable? There are font style, there are colors. You can see the color blending together. There's no shouting. Most designs that you see that professional makes are quite simple designs, and it is their knowledge of all the principles that I've told you that allows them to make these simple designs that still looks amazing. So let's look for a way to replicate this. So I'm going to click on the plus button and have a new page. So I think the first thing I want to bring in, looking at this, is the texture. Looking at this, I really feel like the shear, this shear is coming together with the texture. That is the way I really feel. You can decide to make your own like a shear differently and then a background differently. But that's the way I'm gonna. This is from scratch, right? That's why I told you that. So I'm gonna go to photos. I told you that research is very, very key. Share. Let me click on share because that's the best thing I can quite think of right now. Okay, and let's look at living room. Okay, now this is giving us an entire living room, but what we just need is one share. But you can obviously see here that we can keep looking and looking, and what I'm looking for looks like blue. I could say blue living room. I could say that. And I could actually, this looks amazing actually, but because of the wall clock, I won't use that. So we are beginning, you can begin to see that there are amazing stuffs. This is also amazing. I don't necessarily have to use exactly the same thing that they use. Don't forget, especially when you're trying to recreate, make sure you're recreating, you're not topping like exactly. But it gives me like these things are awesome. And I already feel like picking some already, but why not let's just go around. Looks pretty amazing. High quality pictures, high quality images. So maybe, just maybe, we could go with this. And then I can make it my entire background. Hmm. Let's compare it to this. The shares are not the same actually, but you can see there is a feel of like something the same. But let's see if we can almost replace it with something better. But that is actually cool. Let me see this. Looks great too. Looks great too, though. Okay, okay. I can fully bring in my picture by double tapping on this thing. It helps you to edit the picture inside of it. So I could use this too, right? Though the colors are a bit different, but I can just go ahead with this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, like you can see here, is to type my text. And I can see a rent furniture text. So I'm just going to click on text and bring it in. The subheading size would do. Then I want to type in capital letter rent furniture. And it looks like this is the like exact font they use. Looks like. So then I move it up here. There is a logo there actually. There is a logo there, but we don't necessarily have to put that. So I could just reduce this size, the size of this, to maybe 14. And I'm going to proceed it. It doesn't have to be perfect immediately. I'm making it. I could just work on. So I'll just duplicate this instead of trying to bring in different like text. I could just duplicate it. What is the next thing? Special offer. And that looks like that's a serif font there. Sorry, I wanted to edit it. Are we editing? Edit, okay. Special offer. Capital letter. Is it capital letter? I think it's title case. Special offer. I guess it looks bigger than rent furniture, so we have to achieve that. So first off, I'm going to change this font. You can see already, you know what you are looking for because you know this. Either it's a serif or a sans serif font. It helps you to like have an idea of what kind of font you're looking at. So you're not trying to pick a sans serif font thinking that maybe it's sans serif font. No. So let's see this. I told you that I can decide to use something different. I can decide to as far as so we're just trying to follow with what they did. I don't have to necessarily do that. Okay. I could use this. I could use this, increase the size. No, not that big. Okay, this is big enough. I think this is what we need to reduce. I think that's what we need to reduce. Special offer. And then the third text. The third text is 100% off. I'm thinking that we could look for a more fancy text here by coming down here and see if we could achieve something like this. Let me go back and show you something. Okay, this is 100% off. Like I thought it was not filled, like the color was not filled, but it is. So let's look if we can find something that looks like that. You have amazing options here. Let's look through and look through and look through and look through, and I hope we find something useful. If we don't, we're just going to type it directly and go choose a font. I love this font, Refresco. I love that font. It's exuding elegance and luxury. See this James and Katie too. Amazing stuffs. Confetti and cocktails. They are nice fonts here, guys. Don't even miss out. Come here. And sometimes with this, you don't even have to bother your head about what font do I pair together. Like amazing font for you here. Okay, so if we do not have like if you can't quickly find something useful, you can take your time to look for it. But right now, I don't want this to be too long. Even if I see something like this and I feel I want to use just a part, maybe it's just this font 14, size for 14 that I want, I could actually click this and delete it and it will remain 14 just like you can see it here. But that is not the font that was used. So I'm going to click on Let me just edit it. 100% of in capital letter. So absolutely this is way bigger than what we want. So decreasing it is the best bet. It's on the same line. So let's ungroup this. You can see that there's still something inside. So let's ungroup it and delete it and have just this. 100% off, and then I'm going to look for a font size that is similar to that font size that we have. Intro Rust. Wow, I think I like this. I think it gives off like that command of this is what I want you to see. Let's go with this. I like it. But you can see from here that they didn't use like white. So they picked up from the color of the shear and probably just increased the transparency. So let's see what we can pick off from our color here. Though our color is more dark, but I can still see something light around here that I can use. Okay, amazing, right? Okay, so the next thing that they typed is on first month. I'm going to type this before I do what I intend doing. Let me duplicate this. So I'm going to edit this and type on first month. Let's check back with our design. On first month, the same font color was used, of course, but okay. Let me just, I'll be using the same font I used for that rent furniture for for repetition sake. I think I could still move this upward. You can see my center like grid helping me to say, okay, you're on point. You're doing it well. Okay, so I'm going to click this color and choose that same color that I've used the other time. And I'm going to click the two together. Something is obviously happening in that. So I'm going to group it together and show you what I want to show you. This text is a bit tilted. It's not straight. So it's a bit tilted off. So I'm just going to do this. You can see this rotation symbol. I'm just going to use it. It's a bit, you almost can't notice it. It's just a bit tilted. So just ensure it's at the center where you're doing your tilting and then just tilt it off a bit. These are the things that just, gives off your designs like, so let's see it in a better way. Yeah, like the tilting, just a little tilting right there. Okay. And then there's still a text down there. Let me just duplicate this again and assume this is the text. So I could still duplicate it because there is a part of the text that looks bold. If you notice it, so I'm just going to assume. I'm going to reduce this size. Let's make this 8. I'm deleting this. Then I'm repeating this. I'm making that bold. This is also a way to give contrast. Let me say by now instead of just having furniture repeated twice. Okay, so now it's time for us to do like I could group these things together, you know that already. So it's time for us to look at, okay, how best do we optimize this? There is a line at the base of this, I'm going to just bring in a line and then we arrange the whole thing, go to element. I'm looking at transparent edge line. Let's see if we have something like this here. Line. Let me see. Okay. It's bringing more of gradient to me and that is not what I want. Okay, so I bet we just have to go for lines and see if we can find what I'm looking for. There's something I'm actually looking for. It's not the normal kind of line. But right now, we don't want to stay here and start looking for lines. I'm going to pick one line right now. And it's going to be this plain one. And there you go. You have a line color. I'm going to choose this, my line color. Choose this line and choose a weight. Like, I don't want too much weight. Good. I don't want too much weight on my design. So now let's look at this. Okay. So I might just ungroup this so that I can move this on first month close to this. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think this is even in small letters. Notwithstanding, I mean the rent furniture. Let me just pick up these guys and move them. Okay. So yeah, I could notice that there was too much space in between that. So editing it is not bad. Now you can feel the contrast in this work. Like I can feel it. I don't know if you can, but you can feel the contrast right here in this work, and it looks amazing. It's not doesn't have to be the same with this. You can see the font I used was different. You could decide to pick your own font. Looks like Times New Roman to me though, but there are a lot of similar fonts these days. Times New Roman. That's a very, very old font. Okay, let's see. Can you see? Like now it looks super similar because I really, really thought it was. And this is like bold. Yeah, something like that. Then this font, of course, I used my own font. If you want to use something very similar to theirs, please go ahead and do that. I could decide to duplicate these two and have something here. Sometimes you just want to expand some. Okay, let me group these two texts together so I can move them together. Group, group. Okay, so now I can move them and let them stay in between the lines I just created. And this looks amazing. Okay, so I really feel this looks amazing. You can add the logo. There's a logo that they have. You can add it here and see. We just made a design that we saw online and we just replicated it here. If we found this exact image, it means we would have been able to pull off with what they did exactly here. And if you keep looking, it's because I don't want this to be too long. If you keep looking around, you're going to get something more similar to theirs. This is going to be the end of this training. I mean, this video, we just made a design from scratch. And if you look keenly, you will see that the the alignment we used here is the center alignment. There could still be things you want to work with, like move around to see. Okay, good. Does this sound like stand in the middle of it? Okay. Does this two do that? Does this? And you want to check around and make sure that it stands well just the way you want it. If you want that flower vase to show a little bit, you can pull it in. And as a matter of fact, we could even use a color out of that vase, but really not necessarily. So I could just pull it like this and show them the furniture that I want to show them. This is going to be the end of this video. Like I said, I'm going to see you right in the next video. With all of this that I've shown you here, I really believe that you can pull off with an amazing result. Just know, what alignment am I using? How am I going to achieve balance? The shear here is achieving the balance down here, and then this is achieving the balance up here. I told you about asymmetric balance. I'm going to see you right in the next video.